Hi YouTube, it's Creative Mom. I just wanted to do a video about update on this diagnosed rectal pain I've had for like more than 2 years, but now I got diagnosed and it turns out it's like a nerve issue and that it's dysfunction of the sphincter muscle, which I think I know what caused it, but honestly, it's just a wild guess. But the bottom line is it what happens is if I lift something very heavy, if I get really stressed, the muscle contracts. Like, you have your muscle and then it's like and then it just gets like that. It gets so tight, like it gets like a spasm and it's extremely painful. And sometimes it can't sit or even, you know, walk, or it can get really bad. So I do have a cream that dilates that area, so when I have pain, or if I'm having a spasm, I can use it and it actually helps it to like, you know, not spasm, to kind of like more go back to normal. And so I can use that anytime I do feel like discomfort or anything going on down there. But the bottom line is, I also have lidocaine that I can put on the top if it's like I have a situation that's like really bad. Obviously, constipation affects it, but if you have generally pretty good diet, like it's usually not a non-issue. But excuse me, it's been a long day. I did want to say that it's unfortunate because there's nothing that you could actually do about this, as far as I know so far, to correct this situation surgically. It's not bad enough to where it's like I'm trying to, where it's worth the risk to try to do some sort of surgical procedure. And it's like really bad to the point it's like I can't walk, I can't function, I can't do anything. And so I think there is some relief that I know exactly what's going on, and what I can do to live somewhat comfortable and functional life, to where it's like I can work, I can walk, I can, have all these things, because it's weird because the symptoms mimicked like a hemorrhoid, which it actually wasn't. But every time like I try to get an exam, it's like there's nothing there. There's nothing there, but it felt like there was something there, but it was just, you know, a fold in, the skin, which became extremely painful. But it was tricky because it's like, how are you supposed to know? I mean, it kind of seemed like it was an external hemorrhoid, but it wasn't. But I mean, I did have a lot of tests just to make sure I didn't have prolapse, and in the end, I'm not sure going through the test was worth finding out what I kind of already knew, which was that I have dysfunction of the sphincter muscle. It's not like the test ruled out the prolapse, but those tests were so horrible. Like, I'm just gonna keep it real with other people. I can't say that I don't recommend that you do it, but it just depends on how you feel about the situation. It's like if you need to find out the full scale of your situation and it could be something more seriously wrong, I think that you need to, if you have insurance that'll fully pay for it, do it. But let me tell you something, those tests that I had at Stanford were not that nice. But I just want to share with you guys that in my case, it did get better, and I do have a way to, you know, manage it, and that as long as I don't do things that I know can trigger it. And of course, stress is going to happen in everyday life. There's only so much you can do. There's not much you can do about that. You can try to keep that down as at a minimum as much as possible, realistically. But I do want everybody to know that I did get some resolution with it. It took a long time. It took over 3 years, which means I lived with that pain for 3 years or more. Like, this is probably going on even more, like 4 years plus. Because let's see, I started having that problem or that pain when my son was like probably like around 2, 3, 4, 5. He's almost 6, so it's been at least 4 years. And it was difficult. It was very difficult. But it does explain like about a lot of like what I went through that, you know, I antibiotics that I took that didn't help, or why this situation kept coming back and reoccurring, and how we would become like frequent, and how like it would get really severe, and how like no medication actually worked. It did not even touch the pain until I got the topical lidocaine. Is the only thing that really provided me relief. I just started using that cream more. It's like Vaseline, but it's like called something I forget. The general surgeon gave it to me. It's to dilate the thing. They use it for fissures, but it just helps like relax my you know situation so that I can not have pain, or to have give some relief. But that for me, it's supposed to you're supposed to use it before you go to the restroom. But in my case, I just use it whenever I feel discomfort or like something's going on. Like I just use it, and I use it as much as I need to, and I just use such a small amount. Like it's been years I've had that prescription that I bought, and it's even expired, but it still works, and I have a whole lot of it, so it's not like you generally don't run out. So I hopefully this has been helpful to you guys, and I know this is kind of something where people don't want to talk about, but like the reality is like if you are a woman of childbearing age, even if you don't aren't, this is something very real that you may have to deal with, or that could become a reality for you, of like consequences of like having episiotomies or whatever is going on. You know what I'm saying? And I never thought I'd see myself in the situation of like, oh, I would ever have this problem from birthing kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's really like, you know, kind of a hard thing, because it's like moms don't get to talk about all the things that they go through, like when they have children. And you have this whole idea of like, oh, it's gonna be perfect, and there's you're just gonna do this and that, and you're gonna be fine, and da da da. But yeah, sometimes it doesn't. Problems happen years later, after you've already gone through what you've gone through. So hopefully this helps someone, and you get information that might help you figure out just how you want to approach your situation. Like and subscribe and share, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and thank you for taking the time to let me share my story. All right, YouTube, have a great night.